Good afternoon, Gold Belt owners. It's great to see you all today. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. There are many Gold Belt employees that are watching and listening too. Thank you so much for participating. It's a real pleasure to have these webcasts, to visit with everyone, to see you, to share what Gold Belt is doing. We have so much to be excited about. Our 50th year of existence has been a tremendous year. And I'm just really excited to get into the slideshow and talk about it. But before we do, I just wanted to say thank you so much to all the veterans and service members who are currently working to protect us, who are in harm's way overseas and in country. Gold Belt really prides itself in being a place where veterans can thrive in their civilian workplace. And it's really cool to see how they come to work at Gold Belt and the value they see in serving our country and serving our owners by working at Gold Belt. And it's, just after Veterans Day, I just want to say thank you so much for your service. So we have a great team who's running the webcast, and I want to shout them out and say thank you so much. Rob, Elizabeth, Caitlin, Tasha, thank you so much for helping out and making this work. We have a great slideshow to go through. So, and always we have question and answers afterwards. And you know how much I enjoy answering all of your questions and talking about the things that are on your mind. So I look forward to doing that at the end of the slideshow. So without any further ado, let's jump into the presentation. Next slide, please. So this is what we're going to talk about: the distribution, some business updates, shareholder benefits, and updates that, when we're going to meet again coming up. So there's always door prizes, and we're excited to give those out to those who are attending. I had a message from my friend Bert Bennett. He said, "Man, I can't be in there. How do I get a door prize?" Bert, you're out of luck. Tough luck, dude. If you don't attend, you're not eligible. Thank you so much for being online. And this is always recorded too. So it's put on mygoldbelt.com. And if someone misses it, they're welcome to watch it at another time, and always send in questions to anyone at Gold Belt, our info at Gold Belt email. We love to answer your questions separately if you weren't able to attend in person today. Next slide, please. Our fabulous board of directors. I really want to pause to shout them all out. They are doing such a great job. The reason Gold Belt is having success is because these 9 directors have worked with management to create a strategic plan. And that strategic plan is our roadmap to reaching new successes and new highs every year of Gold Belt's existence. And it guides the way we distribute the income that Gold Belt makes. It allows us to endow benefits, to create generational wealth. And we've talked about all these things for a couple of years. And it's so important that you see the discipline that it takes to maintain success. The easiest thing to do in life is to be somewhere that's not successful and then make it successful. The hardest thing to do in life is keep success going, to maintain that discipline, that drive, that hunger to avoid complacency. And these 9 directors are allowing Gold Belt to do that and mandating Gold Belt to do that. So it's a real pleasure to work for them, work for you. And I just have to tell you, you have a tremendous group of owner representatives who serve as your board of directors. Next slide, please. So the fall distribution, many of you saw it last week on Friday. We were proud to make this announcement. And the reason this is is because the Gold Belt Board of Directors created a distribution policy. It says the 4 previous years' net income through the audited financials, plus the projection of the current year, take 20% of that, and that's the amount we're going to pay out in our distribution annually. And that goes through the Tanaf Trust. So the fact that we have a $17.16 per share distribution is something Gold Belt is, our employees are so proud to deliver this for the owners of the company. I can't tell you how proud we are in words. It's just awesome. The fact that this has happened on the 50th anniversary of Gold Belt is just another reason to celebrate. All of the building blocks that have come before have allowed us to create this. And you remember where we were, $3, $2. We got up to $5 and we celebrated that. But now we're up to $17. And I just think this is a great occasion to celebrate. And it's not going to stop here. I'd like to go to the next slide so we can talk about how it moves forward in the future. So here's the Tanaf Trust contributions. You can see we've been on a steady increase. 2021, we had a windfall year with our COVID supply work with the federal government. But if we took that year out, you can see we've been steadily increasing, and we're going to continue to do that. Your creation of the Tanaf Trust in 2019 has led to about $5 million in saved taxes by owners of the company. That's money that is in your pocket that you would have otherwise had to pay to the federal government. So again, I salute you. Great job. That was great vision. And we're going to continue to utilize this trust to deliver tax savings to you every time we make this kind of distribution. Next slide, please. So here's our projected dividends moving forward. And I think this is really critical because it talks about the sustainability of making a distribution and having a formula that is something you can understand very clearly and project. So remember, it's the previous 4 years of audited financials, that net income number, plus the current projected year divided by 5, the average, and then you take 20% of that. And that's how we get that lump sum to pay out. And so that's on the left-hand side of this screen. The 5-year projections are phenomenal. And so if we continue this trend, we believe that our business is going to maintain its current position and perhaps it'll even grow. And so with that, we'll see these dividends continue to increase. And then I can't forget to tell you, in the spring, we're excited to have the first distribution from the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust. And that we think is going to be about $5. And we are so proud, again, of that. Remember, it was just 10 years ago that you approved the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust. And there was a lot of discussion about, geez, it's going to take 50 or maybe 99 years to make its first distribution. The performance of Gold Belt Inc. has allowed Gold Belt Inc. to make contributions, $28 million in the last 3 years. $28 million was contributed to the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust. That includes taxes. So that contribution has allowed the trust to radically jump forward in its timeline to start making distributions in 2025. And we see that it has a same or a similar distribution formula that Gold Belt Inc. has. And for the trust, which is a separate legal entity, its distribution formula is tied to its investment policy. And I think that's very wise and something you should be aware of, that the investment policy is a conservative, reasonable policy that allows the fund to make enough money to pay a distribution to meet those goals. And so they are linked. They are not mutually exclusive. And it's exciting to see that perform. And so I wanted to highlight this because with reasonable expectation, our business performance and investment performance of the fund will allow a shareholder with 100 shares to receive a little over $12,000 in the next 5 years. And that's something we are all super proud of, and we're going to work so hard to realize those goals. Next slide, please. So I told you the 50th year, we've revised these slides from the annual meeting. If you remember, the expected revenue and net income for this year were just a little lower. And we expect to have a record year. We expect 2024 to eclipse 2021 in revenue and in net income. And that's really cool because you can see the net income graph on the right and of course the revenue graph on the left. It's really correlated to our services business. As our services business expands, our net income grows in a steady rate. And so we had that bump, that jog out, because we had a bunch of sales during COVID with the federal government. You remember needles and syringes. You remember the home COVID test kits. That was a one-time thing. It bumped, but we dropped and we went right back into that same trajectory, that same increase in that graph, that same slope. And for us to have that really shows you the strength of our services work that Gold Belt provides, and the growth is continuing there. And so our goal is to continue that, make sure that we have a firm foundation in that services work so we can continue to expand and produce results for you, the owner. Next slide, please. And so once we finish 2024, you're going to see this number increase even more. I get thrilled when I see this number. Gold Belt has really come into its own in the last few years. We've been able to create consistency, create a dynamic that empowers people to do their best job and produce the best results they can for the owners, for the shareholders, and it's working. The first 39 years of existence, Gold Belt made a net income of 78 million. And over the last 5 years, Gold Belt's made a net income of over 97 million. And so when you add another 30 million to this year's performance, you tack that on, that's going to be, 127 million in net income over 6 years. That's a phenomenal track record. And we look forward to continuing that and not letting the momentum subside. Next slide, please. And so one of those things that is going to drive momentum for us is realizing these long-term goals. We signed an MOU with Royal Caribbean to build a cruise port on Douglas. And remember the vision that you all have had to develop the anchs of land on the backside of Douglas. Well, it's coming to reality, and we are putting the pieces together to make that happen. And we're very excited to reach those goals. We're also, working to fix other solutions in the community. This year, if you lived in Juneau, internet was slow downtown, and a lot of people had challenges, whether you were a business, I heard it from Sea Alaska, or whether you were a homeowner who lived downtown or on Douglas. When there was a lot of people in, the bandwidth was really taken up for our internet. So we thought a good way to help provide a temporary solution while the internet providers improved and expanded their infrastructure was to bring in Starlink internet downtown with Royal Caribbean. So Gold Belt's been doing the installation. Royal Caribbean's paying for the access, and we're excited to have a complete network finished this winter. So that way next year, visitors will be able to be on that, or locals, if you choose, be on that Wi-Fi anywhere you go downtown. So that's really exciting. And we're excited about solving some of those solutions and trying to help people, have the access that they are used to and pay for locally that maybe visitors take up unknowingly. Next slide, please. So our federal contracting business is going very well. We're seeing a bit of a change. So, Gold Belt goes through these, I would say they're kind of time periods in which you have a group of businesses that have entered into the 8A life cycle around the same time. And as they continue to move through and grow, they tend to exit near the same time. So we have a number of companies, Nishka Tech, Frontier, C6. They have been doing so well for Gold Belt. They have been performing well, winning lots of work, really focusing on that high skill, high margin work and delivering net income that is extraordinary. Well, they've all graduated from the 8A program and now are transitioning their work to their follow-on companies. So Frontier has another 8A certified company that's positioned to run along beside it and grow in the same areas. Nishka Tech has two companies that are growing underneath it, and C6 has the same. So we're excited to see these businesses expand and grow, to keep the customers we have and expand into new areas and do business with new customers, attract new customers because of the high level performance and the professional reputation that Gold Belt has developed with the federal government. And you talk about, I'll just highlight a couple of these contracts. Working for U.S. Army Medical Material Command, and it's really neat to see that level of engagement from medical research to medical equipment maintenance and education around it, training. Those are areas that are really important for the civil health space and the defense health space. And Nishka Tech is going from its cybersecurity to some work with the Air Force to support training, and also some remotely piloted aircraft work, which is exciting to see, because that has a very relevant role in our lives as the technology develops, and we deploy it everywhere, from capturing aerial LiDAR image for property to remote control exploration in the ocean, which is pretty cool. And then C6, they are performing so well with the CDC, and they've received many direct award contracts, and their professionalism with the CDC is renowned, and it's allowing us to build bridges and start to compete on larger contracts by combining the powers within Gold Belt. With Frontier and with C6, we're able to really demonstrate past performance that allows our customers to have confidence that we can deliver, and allows us to pursue larger quantity contracts. So rather than say, a $25 million contract, we can pursue a $200 million contract. And those are really exciting leaps that we are making in growth that we are having at Gold Belt. Next slide, please. So, the business in Alaska is terrific. We've done a lot of things to help support our community, namely get out the native vote. So critical that we have our voice heard, and we vote in every election to make sure that we're represented. And Gold Belt Transportation had a bus that was driving around, taking shareholders and tribal members to the polls to vote. And I love that. I'm so proud of that we are playing in a cooperative way with Sealaska, with Huna Totem, with Kootznoowoo, with Tlingit Haida Central Council. It's just been great that we all work together to help make sure that Alaska Native voices drive the priorities and the policies in our community. If we don't change the policy, we won't change action and behavior. And so it's important that we have our voice heard so we can do that. With one of the results of the statewide election, there's some changes that are going to occur to minimum wage and employee benefits. I'm very proud to tell you that Gold Belt's been paying more than $15 in minimum wage for a long time. We follow the market. We are responsible. We want to have the best people providing the best service to our customers. And we have to make sure that we can attract those best people. And so paying a reasonable wage is one of those areas that we do that. And so I could tell you, when you're looking at being a crossing guard downtown or working at the tram, we've paid well over $15 for many years. And we're excited to honor those requirements that will become the new state law in 2025. And so we've done some other things to make sure that we have more activity in Juneau to support our businesses worldwide. And so, Peregrine Technical Solutions and CPMG, which are two businesses that do a lot of federal government work, their headquarters is in Juneau. And that's important because they maintain a hub zone status, but we also have more employees working here, and we have more people working here. Accounting and human resources have also added people in Juneau to make sure that they can provide payroll services to anywhere in the world, and HR services as well. So it's really exciting to see us bring this knowledge and expertise into Juneau to create new business, new employment opportunities, and to build our economy. That's part of our responsibility, and I'm really excited to see us lean into it. The other thing that we've done is invested in real estate around town. We purchased Crazy Horse Drive, which is an industrial building, for Gold Belt Security and Gold Belt Transportation. And that allows us to better maintain our buses and our boats, and work on, different engine parts and store engine parts, have a better inventory. It also allows us to better serve the miners that we travel out to Kensington Mine every day by having a more secure, flat, and safe facility. So that's really important. We've also picked up the Wells Fargo building that's in downtown Juneau. That's a really positive investment for us, and it's returning on its investment right now. So, we see opportunities to continue to increase our real estate holdings to support our businesses, and also improve our net income percentages based on that. And it's really exciting to see it all come together. Next slide, please. So I talked about the ancestral trust. The last 3 years we made some pretty significant donations, $28 million, including taxes. And this is something that your board of directors is going to continue to discuss. It's an important tax mitigation strategy for Gold Belt. As our businesses do well, our net income grows and our taxable liability increases. And so by making contributions to our trusts, it offsets the taxes that Gold Belt pays and allows those benefits to be more wholly delivered to you, the owner, the shareholder, through this process. And so, in the December meeting, the Gold Belt Inc. Board of Directors will determine how much it's going to contribute to the trust. And I believe that we're going to, heavily utilize our trusts in the future to offset our tax liability, so we can provide the most amount of our net income to you as an owner through benefits as possible. Next slide, please. So, these are just a summary of some of our benefits. Many of you know them. They haven't really changed, but it's important that we talk about the creation of elder benefits. That's been a topic of interest for our board, to identify how do we have an elder benefit that is in addition to the stock buyback program that you voted in the 90s. And so we're taking a lot of time to determine what are the benefits Gold Belt Inc. should offer, and how do we deliver those benefits. And I think it's really important. So Rebecca Haley, I'm going to jump into my questions really quick. But Rebecca Haley, I see you asked, will Gold Belt do something to see Alaska where it is open for descendants, having another set of stock? And that's a really important question to ask, because it correlates with our benefit delivery. And so it may be that adding new stockholders takes away benefits from existing stockholders. And so we have to really weigh, if you create a new class of stock, how does that change your current delivery of benefits? How much money do you want to deliver in benefits, and what's the impact? And so, that's another discussion that the Gold Belt Inc. board is having. I'm not saying that it's going to happen or not going to happen. It's just one of those questions that is always near the top of our discussion, because maintaining the relevance of Gold Belt to you, the owner, is top of mind. We want people to be proud of Gold Belt, to follow what Gold Belt is doing, and make sure that Gold Belt can be a positive impact and make a difference in the lives of you, the owner, the shareholder of the corporation, and really honor the intent of the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act. So that's how it all kind of comes together. Next slide, please. And gifting shares is a part of that as well. We don't have a new descendant stock. And so a way for descendants to take advantage of scholarships and other benefits is to give them some shares. And so we want to make sure that we balance delivery of benefits to shareholders in a way that people can really receive that value, and we can really help people. And I want you to remember, it's not just a traditional a college scholarship that we offer educational benefits for. We offer educational benefits for a myriad of opportunities, whether it's trade certification or cultural education. All of those are eligible, and I really encourage people to participate and use these benefits. We have enough for everyone to use, and we want you to use them. So please don't be concerned about taking from another owner. Everyone has enough to participate. We really fund these aggressively, and we're excited to support people's education and growth so you can continue to realize your personal and professional dreams. Next slide, please. And so this is just a kind of a snapshot of what we've given so far. I mean, we've given a little more than $6 million in benefits to shareholders, to owners this year, and we're excited about it. And we're going to give more through our ancestral trust contribution, and we really pride ourselves in giving these benefits. So it's just a great snapshot for you to see how everything kind of comes together. Next slide, please. Our 50th year is coming to an end, and it's sad, but it's kind of sweet as well. You know, we've accomplished so much, and there's just a lot that we have to be proud of as Gold Belt employees and Gold Belt owners. And you know, it's only going to get better. So thank you so much for participating. Thank you for enjoying this. And you know, we'll have more opportunities for engagement through December. We're going to support holiday parties and some other stuff. So please keep your eye out for those notifications. Next slide, please. And this is the date right here. So it's, you know, our fall distribution date is when, and you know, I should say the higher education scholarship deadline is the first thing. So if you do have young people, or if you are returning to school and you want to get that education paid for, you know, please make sure that you honor that deadline. And then the distribution date is always our goal to have it the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so November 26th. And then the offices are closed for Thanksgiving, but make sure you see the December 7th and December 11th, you know, holiday fair that we support with Clinton-Haida Central Council and Sea Alaska and other Alaska Native organizations. We are so proud to be a part of that. So please come out and join us. And just a friendly reminder that Gold Belt will be closed for the holiday, Christmas holiday, 24th and 25th. So if you need any business done around those dates, make sure to plan accordingly. Next slide, please. So in 2025, we're going to have a series of winter shareholder opportunity meetings. And, you know, I always love seeing this, seeing you, meeting you, and the board members will be there and employees will be there. And we're going to invite other Alaska Native organizations that are in your area to participate as well, to help answer questions and just generally be a resource for you. So mark your calendar for January 11th in Juneau, Alaska at Centennial Hall, January 25th in Anchorage at the Captain Cook Hotel, and February 8th at Tulalip, Washington at the Tulalip Resort and Casino. You'll notice a change there in Washington. So we've been meeting in the South Center area, and you know, we've had a desire as an organization, you know, driven by our board of directors to support other Native-owned businesses. And so when we reach out to the Tulalip tribe to allow us to have a meeting at their you know, resort hotel, you know, near the outlet malls and the casino there, they were very happy to support us. And I'm excited for us to work together and to continue to support other Native organizations. It's just a great thing coming together. Next slide, please. And I led off with a thank you to our veterans. And here's just a small picture of where we hire veterans. Veterans work all across the Gold Belt Inc. landscape at our subsidiaries, at headquarters, and it is a real pleasure to work with them. We have, you know, the Gold Award and the Platinum Award. We really value the education, the insight, the experience that our veterans have and they can bring to the workforce, and they help lift everybody up. Thank you for your service. Next slide, please. It's Native American Heritage Month, and we will be celebrating that, and you'll see a bunch of our posts on social media, and it's going to be just a lot of fun to recognize everyone at Gold Belt, you as owners, and continue to hold you up and celebrate you and make sure that your position in the community is known and respected. Next slide, please. So let's talk about some prizes. I know it's going to run as well on the crawl, but we have door prize winners. There are 5 $100 cash prize winners each. Rochelle Cootley, Nicole Horniak, Courtney Reeves, Josephine Purcell, and Lashiva Gallant. Thank you so much for participating. Congratulations on being door prize winners. You each receive $100. That's pretty cool. And we will reach out to coordinate delivering that to you. So thank you so much for participating. I believe the next slide is question and answer. All right. So Rebecca, I talked about yours. I'm going to start here with Oscar. Oscar, I see you've written a couple questions, so I'll just get into it individually. So you asked, are we looking to buy more 8A companies? We don't necessarily buy 8A companies, we establish 8A companies. And I think that's a really important distinction. So our goal is to create more 8A companies. And in fact, the Gold Belt Inc. Board of Directors authorized 5 new companies to be created just this year. So we are very excited about that. We are excited about making sure that we have a strong pipeline of 8A companies in the federal market space, because we have graduated companies that are older and more mature, and we want to be able to compete with our past performance and have our contracting opportunities and our competitive advantage fully able to deliver. So we have a really good system in place, and the board has leaned into supporting that and making that happen.
Oh, my power went out. Do you want to drop me back in? All right. So, shareholders, owners, I apologize for that. The power went out in the Juneau office, and I just want to let you know that I'm back in and I'm back on, and I'm going to do this from my phone. So I'm looking at the chat and the comments, and so let me see if I can pull up our question and answer sheet. All right, I've got question and answers, and I just wanted to answer a few others. So, um, will the tram be open for will the tram be open for holiday shopping this winter? And so the answer is yeah, we're going to have a gift shop open, and the tram is going to be doing that, and we're really excited to have that in place. I think it's really cool to see how our opportunity to sell in the community is rewarded and acknowledged by people participating in, the first Friday in December, and all of those fun things in the community. Another question that was asked was, give us an update on the gondola. So, we've been working closely with the city to help put that into place and develop the gondola to its full potential. And the city hasn't gone as quickly as we had hoped, but they're still under the terms of our contract. They are still meeting each of those steps and goals, and we expect it to be open probably in 2026, maybe in 2027 at the latest. But it's still within our agreement, our contract, and so I'm very happy to have that come together. I'm looking at some more questions. I've got them right here. Um, Maxine, you asked about shareholder hire statistics in our business. We've done a pretty good job of making sure that we uh, offer shareholder hire anywhere that shareholders want to work. And so obviously in Juneau, we have like an 86% or 87% shareholder hire ratio in Alaska, and it's very strong. It drops off significantly when you go outside of Alaska. And it's not for lack of trying, it's for pairing up people with jobs they want to do and where they want to live. So I just want to remind everybody that if you want to come and work for Gold Belt, we have a lot of opportunities, from medical staffing to cybersecurity. There's a lot of things that are available. And we have like 2,300 employees right now. So we have, probably 300, maybe 350 people in Alaska during the summertime when we're fully staffed. But when you talk about overseas and in the lower 48, we've got 2,000 employees. So there's a lot of people working for Gold Belt, and there are a lot of opportunities around that. Let me see another question. Oh yeah, so Micah, thank you very much for listening and for watching and asking the question. I see you have a couple questions. You said, "What's the profitability anticipated with Royal Caribbean, and how will Gold Belt profit off the agreement?" Well, so first and foremost, what we have is We have an MOU to establish how we're going to work together and pursue the financial feasibility of a development on Douglas. The anticipated arrangement will be that Gold Belt and Royal Caribbean, Gold Belt will build the facility and own it, and Royal Caribbean will guarantee 500,000 passengers will come through the facility on an annual basis for 30 years. So that's really important for us to justify the long-term success of this development. So the profitability, it's too soon to know right now, but I believe it will significantly increase the Alaska commercial division's profitability and allow us to diversify according to the board's goals. So the board of directors has really sought to diversify from federal contracting to commercial business. So we have balance, right? It's more about balance and making sure that we are, evenly proportioned. So when there are ups and downs in different industries, we always have the ability to, deliver results to shareholders and provide benefits. So there will be more to come as we develop this project, and I'm really excited about it. Let me look for another question. So David Martin, okay, that's a great question about that. David Martin asked, what are the, what are the elder benefits and how might those be deployed? And I think I know that's I'm paraphrasing, but some of those are to be determined. We're not quite sure. We're working through those as a management team and the board of directors to try to figure out what type of elder benefit is appropriate and is best and is sustainable. So we know that we don't want to offer something once that doesn't provide value in the future. We want to continue to drive sustainable, dependable benefits and endow those benefits. So that way we create the generational wealth that we're talking about. We don't want to be a flash in the pan. We don't want to be an organization that you can't depend on. We want this success to continue for generations. And so that's how that informs that decision. And unfortunately, we're not there to, we haven't come to a determination to give you a firm answer. So I'm sorry that I don't have more for you now, but I'm sure we'll have more in the coming months. Thank you very much. Salisi asks, will there be an increase in the scholarship amounts? I'm not sure when. That's the short answer. I know we're always striving to increase scholarship amounts and provide more for scholarships. And that's a balance that we want to create, right? We don't want to give too much to young people and not enough to elders. We don't want to take away from our dividend distribution. We want to make sure that we have a good balance. And so that really does inform that decision. Ernest Williams, once my, let me hold on. I'm going to open up. Once my granddaughters receive their shares, are they able to apply for scholarship benefits? Yeah, absolutely. Once your granddaughters receive your shares, they are able to apply for scholarship benefits, and that's really critical. And you never know when there are special opportunities that will present themselves for shareholders as a shareholder. And so it's really good just to get a couple shares in your granddaughter's hands to allow them to receive those benefits and participate to the maximum ability. Juliana Smith says that she noticed that when Sea Alaska had increased their enrollment for new shareholders, the amount of the dividend decreased. The question is this something that Gold Belt will avoid? Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you asking that, Juliana, because that was kind of the intent of the earlier comment that I made about how the benefit balance and addition of new shares really does impact the delivery of benefits to each shareholder. And there's a acute awareness by your board of directors to make sure that we don't undervalue or devalue an existing share, an existing shareholder. And so that's a lot of discussion about that. And we are very committed to making sure that existing shareholders are held up and valued, and that they have done so much to build and create what Gold Belt is now, that we want them to receive those benefits and receive that reward for their hard work to generate a successful company. Let's see. Mary Marks, you asked, having a new cruise ship harbor, does this mean Gold Belt will own tour buses or collaborate? That's a great question, Mary. Thanks a lot for watching. Hi to you and the family. There's going to be a balance there too. So we already have buses that we perform, by transporting the miners to and from Juneau to Kensington Mine. So part of our goal is to make sure that we um, protect the business that we have, protect the assets that we have, and fully utilize those assets. So we don't want to be in a place where we lose a line of business and we have to sell buses when we could put those buses to work somewhere else. So our goal is to provide some transportation services. Our goal is to provide some excursion services. Our goal is to provide some, um, experience services. But we don't want to do it in isolation. What we'd like to do is we'd like to also be a real estate company where existing businesses can rent real estate from us, and we share in that revenue through real estate profits. So there's going to be a balance and a finely threaded line through that environment that allows us to have something that's sustainable, dependable, and provides a real benefit to you as owners and to the community as a whole. Oh, I'm looking. Sorry, Leah. It's taking me a second to open up your question. Leah Williams asked, when the weather was good, the summer season was extended in Juneau. How many summers with rough weather will result in shorter summer seasons? Hey, that's a really great question. And talking about that, comparison. So you saw Norwegian Cruise Lines trying to extend the season early into April, late into October. And what we've seen the industry do is really acknowledge that it's not good to come too early and it's not good to stay too late. We know that locals want to leave in October, late October, because it's rainy, it's nasty, there's no snow, the wind's blowing sideways. It's just not a fun experience. So I think you're going to see some natural contraction, but then that is going to be the firm window for the visitor industry. So probably the third or fourth week in April, maybe the fourth week in April through like the second week in October. I think that's going to be the firm window in which you have visitors coming to town on ships, whether it's a small ship like Uncruise or whether it's a big ship like Royal Caribbean. Let me look and see what other questions are there. All right, I think. I talked about, yep, Dorothy. I talked about the gondola at Eagle Crest and talked about scholarship amounts. So I just wanted to say I really appreciate everybody's questions and time today. If you have any more, feel free to send them in to email us. Thanks for your patience with me and with us as the power went out here at the office. And I'm happy I was able to jump back on the phone and talk to everybody. So thank you so much. Ganesh Chish. Have a great holiday season, and we look forward to seeing you soon.